running ads, whether those are Meta ads, Google ads, TikTok, Pinterest, whichever, you probably already have a pixel or some sort of tracking system set up. If not, that's definitely step one. You want to do that first. But even if you do have that tracking set up, it's often biased towards that ad platform. The ad platforms are going to take full credit, even if they only played a very small role in converting that person. And that doesn't mean that that data is wrong, but it means that you also need to be tracking what other platforms or marketing efforts also played a role in those conversions, so you can see the full picture of, are these ads working and what role are they playing in my marketing? I'm Allie, and in this video, I'm going to show you how UTMs work alongside your ad tracking to give you the most complete and unbiased view of your ad performance. And if you're done guessing what's working in your marketing and want more data-backed strategies and resources, make sure that you hit follow so that you get notified when my next video drops. Okay, so let's talk about where the gaps in your ad platform tracking really come from. So often we want to believe that consumer behavior is really simple, where they might see your ad, click on that ad, and then buy the thing. But in reality, it's a lot more nuanced and complicated than that. For example, maybe they see your ad in a Google search or as they were scrolling on Instagram, and then they click through and it takes them to your website. Maybe they poke around on a couple different pages and then are like, okay, I kind of like what I'm seeing here. I'm gonna go look deeper at their Instagram and I'm gonna see what they're all about. So they click over to your Instagram. And then, maybe they follow, or maybe they're just like, okay, that was cool, and go on and about their day. And then the next day, they see an organic post of yours. And then they're like, oh, right, I was interested in that person. They go to your link in bio, and they click through to your website again. And then at this point, they're like, okay, I want to download this free thing from them. So they sign up and they become a lead. Then a couple days later, because you've now been emailing them, they click a link in that email, they visit your website again, and then they're like, I'm ready to buy, and they buy that thing from you. Now, in this situation here, your ad played a very important role. It made that person first aware of your business, but your organic content also played a role. There was a freebie or a funnel that they opted into and got a couple emails, and obviously they visited your website all 3 times and probably different pages each time. There were a lot of things that played into this purchase coming through. And now the question here is, because the 2 conversion actions here, becoming a lead and making a purchase, happened on different sessions, would these be attributed to ads? And so the answer to that is, it depends on the platform and the situation. If we're talking Meta ads here, Meta has a 7-day conversion window. So as long as this lead conversion happened within 7 days of them seeing that ad, then yes, that lead conversion would show up next to that ad that they clicked on here. If this purchase also happened in that 7-day window of them clicking that ad, then that purchase would also get attributed back to this ad. But if these conversions happened 7 days after when they clicked that ad, then that is not going to show up in your pixel tracking at all. Whereas Google Analytics typically has a longer attribution window, so you'll be able to see that data over there, as long as you have UTMs in place that are telling Google Analytics that this came from an ad. Google Analytics can also tell you a much fuller picture of what are all the things that are happening here versus just saying the ad was the only thing responsible, whereas your ad pixel tracking is pretty much only saying, was there an ad with this conversion or was there not, and which ad. So let me show you a little bit more about what that reporting looks like in Google Analytics. So I'm personally not a huge fan of using Google Analytics' native reporting. I will show you where you can find this data in there, but I much prefer to use Data Studio dashboards. These dashboards here are included in my Data-Backed Entrepreneur program. There's more details on that below. But it connects directly into your Google Analytics. I don't need to touch it and it updates on its own. And you can see here that this account has paid ads running. They're coming through as paid social because I've used UTMs, which I'll show you how to do. And it tells me exactly how many sessions came through from paid social, how many leads came from those sessions, and how many purchases came from those sessions. So I can see that perfectly in here. But this dashboard here is only still telling one part of the story. This is looking at what is called last click conversions. So they need to have clicked that ad and on that same session in your website, then gone and purchased or became a lead in order for them to show up here. If I want to see more of that full picture situation, then I can look at this dashboard, which then gives me the ability to break down first click attribution versus last click attribution versus data driven, which is Google Analytics' algorithm-based thing where they'll look at the number of touch points from a particular channel and how close they were to the conversion timeline and kind of divvy things out. So you can see in a first click world, 6 conversions can be attributed back to paid ads versus 5 conversions came in on a last click. So this means here that potentially 11 different conversions could be attributed back to paid social because there were 6 that were very first clicks, there were 5 that were last clicks, but these can cross over. So that's where the last layer here of data-driven attribution is the most important, that it starts to divvy things out and it'll divvy out the credit across different platforms. So overall, it's saying paid social is actually responsible for about 5.31 conversions. And this would be the number that I would pull up if it's meta ads. I'd pull up my meta ads pixel reporting and I would pull this up. Meta ads might say like 6 or 7. This here is going to say 5.31. And the true answer is going to be somewhere in between those two. But we can start to see, especially if you have long buying cycles, you might see a way bigger discrepancy between what Meta or your ads platform is telling you and Google Analytics. And the answer is going to be somewhere in between. And it's really important for you when you're making your decisions of, are these ads worth it? Am I getting the ROI here? That you have that full picture of the problem. Now, if you don't have fancy dashboards like mine, you can get this data in Google Analytics. So you'll want to go into your advertising reporting. I believe in order to use advertising, you need to have a Google Ads account. You can create one and not spend any money on it and still connect it, but you just need to have it created. And then look at your key attribution paths and you can start to see it's not as direct of a breakdown as my dashboards are, but this is what you're working with Google Analytics. You can start to see if your ads are early touch points, mid touch points, late touch points. And then if you do the key event attribution models, you can see a little bit more of a breakdown of last click versus data driven, but they no longer support first click in here anymore. Don't ask me why. So if you want that data to flow into your Google Analytics, you need to start using UTMs in your ads. I'm going to show you how this works for meta ads, and each of the other ad platforms are very similar. So in meta ads, at the ad level, I can click here on build a URL parameter. Now, when you come in here, this will likely be blank like this. And what you would do is each of these are a different UTM parameter that you would populate in here. The big one to be mindful of is under campaign medium. You want this to be paid social or CPC or something along those lines that determines that this is paid. If you do nothing else and you at least put this one in here, you're going to be able to see in your Google Analytics that these clicks are from paid Facebook and Instagram, and these clicks are from organic content. If you don't do UTMs at all, everything is going to get lumped under organic. Then when it comes to the other parameters, there is a little bit of a strategy that you want to follow. Meta and the other ads platforms all use variable fields. So you can put something like the site source name, which is going to tell you, is it from Facebook or Instagram? You can put the campaign name here and the ad name here. I often also get us to add an additional UTM parameter for UTM term, which is another UTM parameter that I don't know why they don't give you a box for, but you can manually add it. There is a specific strategy on what to put where that is a bit of a rabbit hole that I could go down into. If you want my breakdown of exactly how to do meta ads, I have a UTM checklist that you can download below. It gives you the exact breakdown of for meta ads what I recommend putting into each box. If you're also running other ads, my UTMs Made Simple tool that I'll show you in a second has the strategy for all of these built into it as well. But the important thing to note is that you put your UTMs in here and then you would hit apply and it will automatically prepare your link here. Now note that this step needs to happen on every single ad in your account that is linking back to your website. Any ads that are traffic ads, that are lead ads that send them to your website, that are purchase ads sending them to your website, all of those need to have UTM parameters built in. I typically do this on the first ad and then I just duplicate this ad and then it'll always have my UTMs in there. So if you want to start getting real data on your ad performance, make sure that today you go into your ad account and on any ads that are actively running that are directing traffic to your website, you go add UTMs to them. And if in this builder, you want to know exactly what to put in each box, download my UTM checklist below. It's going to give you the exact thing that you can copy paste into each box and walk you through a little bit more of the what's going on here and the nuance of it. And then if you're wanting to take it even a step further and use UTMs across different paid channels like LinkedIn, TikTok, etc., or start using UTMs with your email marketing, organic social, YouTube, podcasts, collabs, resources, you'll want to check out my UTMs Made Simple builder. It has the UTM strategy built in for all of these different platforms, and you would just come in here, click that it's a new link, open it up, answer a couple questions about that link, like this is a meta ad, and it's for this specific freebie. And then as you do that, it has automations that populate the right UTM parameters, and it builds your links for you, or it tells you exactly how to input this into that platform. It has everything all built in, so you don't need to watch another YouTube video like this. It's literally just laid out for you, step 1, 2, 3, and you're ready to go. If you're running paid ads, you absolutely want to know what are the results that those are bringing in. And although the pixels and the platforms themselves give you really great data, it's truly not enough to get the full picture of what they're doing for your business and if investing in those ads is truly worth it. So get out there and start adding UTMs. And if you need more support around UTMs or any tracking needs, the description has some great resources for you.